Good morning and welcome back to Joe and Di's Allotment channel. Thank you to Di for being behind the camera as always. We're now in week 4 of July, so we've got lots of jobs to do this week. A little bit of sowing, not too much. Lots of harvesting as always in July and August and September. Yeah, and other little jobs to do as well. Weeding and watering is very important at the moment. These are some of the seedlings we've been growing over the last few weeks. We've got some little gems and some Lolo Rosso lettuces. They're coming on quite well, so they can go out in probably another couple of weeks yet, I think. We've got some Boltardy beetroot. We've got 2 lots of beetroot. These seem a little bit more advanced than these ones. So these are Cylindra and Boltardy. So once they get to a certain stage, I'll put them straight into the plot, straight out the module in their little groups and put them straight in, a bit like a plants that you buy to put straight into the soil. Got some salad onions, got some rocket and mustard growing there, a little bit of radish, and the salad mix is coming on quite well, so they should be able to start putting some of those up in a couple of weeks time as well. Put them straight into salad, just use the leaves. So yeah, that's coming on quite well. So the first thing we're going to do this morning is pick all the apples off the floor. I know it's called the June drop, but we seem to have a lot coming down in July as well. It's sort of nature's way of reducing the crop on the tree, so they fall off, but instead of just putting them straight into the compost, well, we do put quite a lot of them in the compost, the ones that are rotten or damaged. If they're very, very damaged, we put them in the compost. But we like to keep the others. We sort of peel them, chop them, and make an apple sauce with the ones that have left. So we make an apple sauce and we tend to freeze that, and we use it to make muffins or cakes or other recipes as well. So yeah, I mean, they're useful. So rather than just put them straight in the compost, we'll sort them out and use as many as we can. So that's the first job. Yeah, so we're going to sort out the apples. The ones that are beyond use we'll put in the compost bin straight away, and the ones that fell off but look quite good, we'll peel, chop out the good bits and make them into a apple sauce. So it's just a matter of picking them up, and if they're really tiny as well, put them in the compost bin. It's too much hassle to do anything with them. Just make a quick sort out, keep the ones that are okay, and put the ones that are not in the compost bin. So we've got a bucket full for the compost bin, which the worms will enjoy. As you can see, it's very active because we've got lots of the worms in the lid. And these rot down very quickly. Soon go down. That's it, so that's done. In a couple of days, probably more. So the only thing I'm planting in modules this week is some more spring onion, which is white Lisbon, which is a quick maturing variety. They germinate in about 21 days. They should be ready for putting in about 4 months. So yeah, I mean, we plant them in modules. And when we plant them out, it's like a plug plant. We plant them out in their little bunches, and they grow in their little bunches. And when we pull them up, we've got a sort of a little bunch of onions basically. So yeah, these should be ready in about 4 months or so. They won't go out, probably won't be able to plant them out, take about 21 days to germinate, and then they probably won't go out for a good sort of 6 or 7 weeks probably before they can go outside onto the plot. So that should be a nice little bunch in each module. So we cover them with about a centimetre, these have all been pre-watered. That's just about a centimetre of soil, which is just over 1/4 inch, I think. 1/4 inch, between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. Gives that firming down, and just keep them moist until they germinate now. We've got one little bunch already there, a bit further ahead. So So this will be the next batch after that one. Keep a succession going. I'll give these a firm down. Give these a firm down, and they've been pre-watered so they're moist already. Just a matter of keeping them wet now. As I said, they should germinate about 21 days. Yeah, so it's just a steady supply of tomatoes coming through now. Some lovely ones there. Nice sort of cherry tomatoes. Nice in our salads. And they're so tasty compared to the supermarket ones. It's unbelievable. The difference is unbelievable. It's a really disappointment when we run out of tomatoes every year and start having to buy them again. But yeah, they're lovely. So tasty and sweet. So that's that, yeah. Nice little supply of that. Also chopping down the basil. Chop it down and it will regerminate again. We take this in and air dry it. Got two different basils here. We've got a normal basil and a cinnamon basil.
It smells nice.
It's a lovely smell when you chop it as well, isn't it? But yeah. The little chili peppers are coming on really well now. I think this is a really hot variety. Coming on really well. So we've got a nice bunch of basil out of the greenhouse. Give it a thorough wash. Just going to give it a little dry. And then we'll hang it up in the kitchen and air dry it, which is, as it says on the tin, basically leave it in the kitchen till it's dried out really, and then you can crumble it up or use it as you're going along really, and then you're making something. So this is a bunch we picked a couple of weeks ago. It's been hanging in the kitchen, so it's nice and dry now. It's crumbly, so we'll hang up the new one now, let that dry. So I'll crumble this up and maybe put it in a jar now. So it's just a matter of peeling the June drop in July. We peel them and then we give them a wash, and then we chop out the good bits, discard the bad bits. We've got a sort of compost bin full of compost nearly already. So give them a wash, and then we'll put them into a pan and cook them down, and then I'll blend it, and then we'll freeze it afterwards. And if you don't want them to sort of go brown, it doesn't matter anyway because they're going to cook down. You can put them in lemon juice to stop them going brown if you want a white sauce, but we don't mind. We just, we'll cook them down like that, and we'll freeze them, put them in containers in the freezer, and use them as we go. I think we've sort of got about 2 left from last year so far, nearly all gone. So it's just coming at the right time really, because we're running out. So we've cooked down the fallen apples, and I've blended it. And we've got 5 containers, about 1.5 cups in each one. So it's quite a good little haul there really. Just some apples that would have normally gone into a compost bin. It's an alternative to using eggs and oil if you want to make sort of cakes, muffins, biscuits. We tend to use it for cakes, muffins and biscuits rather than put oil or eggs in. We'll put the apple sauce in, makes it a little bit healthier. But yeah, and it tastes really nice as well actually. You can also use it on porridge, defrost it and add it to your porridge. So there's various ways of using it, but yeah, it's not a bad little haul from what was fallen apples off the tree. Blackberry season's just starting, so it's nice to get some early ones. So it's really good to have on our muesli. And it's free food. Who doesn't want free food these days? Yeah, I mean it's no sowing, no planting, just pick them. So there's lots of little spots over the allotment, sort of over the back. We've got a wild area and there's loads of them down there, so we do pick quite a few. Use them as we go along, and we also freeze some as well, which is nice. So yeah, some lovely looking blackcurrants there.
Berries.
Berries, not blackcurrants. I always get confused between the two. Just dug up a few more potatoes. So we've just finished off the first earlies, which were the rockets, and we've started on the first 2 plants of the Nicolas. So not a bad little crop though, so looking good. We're going to crop some climbing beans, but some of them are starting to sort of chubby up now and forming beans inside, so those ones we'll leave. We'll just pick the nice tender ones for cooking now, and we'll let the other ones set beans, and we'll use those as dried beans for sort of winter soups, winter stews. So yeah, we'll leave those ones and we'll just pick the tender ones today. Climbing beans were a bit late to get going this year, but you know, they're coming on really well now, and as I said, we're leaving some behind for beans, but yeah, we'll get a decent crop, and we've got some later ones, so they're just coming through now. So yeah, it's taken a lot of watering this year, but we're finally getting some crops out of them. That's a big courgette. It's not a marrow, it's a large courgette. We're getting quite a few now, so not a bad size. This one's a proper courgette. Quite a few. A decent one here. I'll leave that one or take it? Leave that one for a bit longer. The butternut squashes are coming on well as well now. They just start to chubby up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking good. Some more courgettes. And the pumpkins are starting to develop, and we're going to leave all these ones for drying beans, I think. They're sort of chubbying up now. Got a couple of different varieties here, but we'll leave them to dry off on the plants now. I think they're starting to toughen up anyway, and I think they'll be hard to eat now. Yeah, the leeks aren't as large as we thought they'd be by this time of the year. They're very, very slow this year. They're alive. I weeded them all the other day. I've been watering them as well, but I think I need to earth them up as well at some stage, but I'm hoping it rains in the next few days, and then I can earth them up a bit to sort of make the stems a bit whiter at the bottom, so we try and earth them up but not get it into the leaves. It's a gradual process, so we'll keep earthing them up as they grow, but at the moment they're a bit too small to earth up really, so I'll leave them a bit longer I think. Just keep the weeds off them and water them. So another job for this week will be to cut the comfrey down again. We go working through our comfrey liquid, watering the runner beans, tomatoes, cucumbers and the squashes. So we'll cut this down and start some more juice, comfrey juice this week. So we've got some here, we've got some over there, and we've got some down the other plots to chop down. So I'll chop all those down and immerse them in water this week. We've got lots of corns forming now, so it's a good time, sort of week 4ish, to keep sort of shaking the tassels. Helps pollination and sit flying off there. I've been doing this over the last week, so it helps. So these are the first of the outside tomatoes that are now sort of ready to pick. We've got a few. A few more here. I'm going to put up the last of these spring onions here. And the late crop sort of beans that we planted. 1, 2, 3 lots over there, another one over there coming up, so a few cucumbers coming through, nice steady supply. A couple of them have gone to seed already. It's not always worth keeping the ones that go to seed because they cross-pollinate with each other and you never get the same variety again. So I'll probably put those in the compost bin. Should be able to start cropping the onions and the shallots in the next week or so. The shallots are probably ready now, they're starting to die off. The tops are dying off now, so we can probably crop those in the next week or so. But the onions, I like to leave these to sort of die off on their own. Some people sort of bend them over, so I think you sort of get right at the top of the onion if you do that. So I'd rather let them sort of fall over like this one and dry up naturally. That's drying up naturally, so I'll allow them to dry up naturally. But I think we'll pull the shallots up in the next few days. I think they're ready. Nice bit of beetroot. Saving broad bean seeds. Other than tomatoes, I think saving seeds from beans, climbing beans, French beans, probably the most popular ones to save because they're easy to do. They don't sort of cross-pollinate like squashes or cucumbers. They do cross-pollinate, but they're not. It's not such a big issue with beans. I mean, you can. Broad beans can cross-pollinate, but you can avoid it by taking the ones from the centre of the patch. But if you don't mind them cross-pollinating, it's not a big issue anyway, really. Yeah, I mean, we like to grow broad beans for quite a number of reasons. They're sort of highly nutritious protein for us. They fix nitrogen to the soil, so they're really good in that respect. And another factor is they're easy to save the seeds from. Yeah, I mean, we grew 2 main beds of aqua dolce this year, which is the variety we grew. One was from bought seed and one was from saved seed from the year before. And I think we slightly got a higher yield from the ones we saved our own seed from, but other factors could come into that, so it's not, you know, wholly and solely to do with the fact that we saved our own seed, but there was a higher yield. There's a few reasons why we do save our own seed. One is it saves you money. For every 30 seeds we sort of save our own, that's about £1, so it does add up to quite a bit if you want to plant quite a few broad beans. Other factors are it makes you a bit more self-reliant, you're not dependent on the seed company, and you sort of develop your own variety after a while. If you keep doing it year after year, the seeds actually get used to your climatic conditions in your soil, so you're sort of developing your own variety, and it's truly an organic bean. If you grow organically, it's an organic bean as well. So they're the sort of reasons why we do it. So yeah, I mean, we kept some seeds from, these were the autumn sown ones, so we kept the seed mainly from the autumn seed, autumn grown broad beans. What we've done, we sort of crisscrossed them in this basket, and it's got holes in it all the way around, so it gives it good air circulation. And they've been drying in here for about probably 3 or 4 weeks now, really. So they're completely dry, they're blackened, they're like sort of plasticky feel. If you look inside at the actual broad beans, they're very, very hard. You can't dent them with your fingernail. They've dried out very thoroughly. So it's just a matter of them podding them. And what you need to do is check each one individually as well as you're going through. Because if you've got holes in them, it means you've got weevils in them, and they just won't germinate. So sort of maybe sort of have a quick check, make sure there's no holes in them. But the other way of doing it is once you've podded them all, you can put them into the freezer. Put them in a bag in the freezer for 4 or 5 days, and that will kill any weevils that are present in the broad beans. It does lessen your germination a little bit, but it swings and roundabouts. If you leave the weevils in there, they could come out and get into the other beans. So if you kill the weevils, you might lose a bit of germination, but then you ensure that the weevils are dead. So yeah, I mean, it's a matter of just checking them all individually. I mean, the holes are quite clear. We haven't got any here at the moment, but I'll show you if I find one. It's just a matter of sort of keeping them. So I mean, that was quite a good one. There was 7 seeds in that pod. So you can see little holes, sort of obvious signs of weevil damage, and we've actually seen some weevils coming out of them, so they're definitely there. So yeah, we've discarded as many as we can into the compost bucket there. So that's how you can see if they've got the weevils in, with little holes. Actually, seen a few flying around, haven't we? So
Yeah.
they can go in the
Crawling as well. Crawling.
go in the compost. So we've actually collected about 450 seeds here. There's another one got a hole, look. About 450 seeds in here, which is about £15 worth of broad bean seeds, so it's not bad. As I said, I'll put these in the freezer now, so if there's any weevils left in there, that'll see them off, and it might affect the germination a little bit, but yeah, it's better than having weevils infest the rest of it, so it's a good way of killing them. Yeah, so once they've been in the freezer for sort of maybe 48 hours or so, I'll take them out, let them dry off completely, then I'll store them in an airtight jar, make sure I label it own seed. Pretty obvious, you can see they're your own seed anyway by the sort of state of some of them, but yeah, I mean, I'll label it, and we'll probably use them in the autumn this year anyway, so they won't be in storage that long, but you can store them for a few years if you want to, and they will last for quite a few years. But yeah, so yeah, easy seed saving for yourself. As I said, it's about 15 quid's worth in there, so not bad. At least it gives you £15 to spend on other seeds. Everything for week 4 of July now. So yeah, I mean, we've done a little bit of planting, mainly harvesting, tidying up, watering and feeding sort of for week 4 of July. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of jobs to do, but it's mainly sort of looking after the crops that are starting to come to an end now. A lot of them are coming to an end now, but there's still sort of things coming through. The outdoor tomatoes are just starting to turn red now, so you know, next few weeks we'll be cropping all those. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video. Our aim is to do a weekly video for our whole allotment year, showing you how we sort of grow stuff, how we look after it, and how we even use it in the kitchen. So if you'd like to follow our journey, please subscribe at the button below. If you've enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up and like, and if you'd like to make a comment, please make a comment in the box below. If you've got any ideas, tips we can spread amongst the gardening community, please feel free to sort of comment in the box below. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and happy gardening everybody.